Travis Neo.
Neo. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sorta My Podcast. My name is Vincent Herman, Vin the Human. Sitting to my left,
James Odle, Alpha Spectre.
and right across the table from him,
Travis Neil Herman, Dr. T. Neil.
guys, you can like Sorta My brand or our nerd news page, Sorta My Comics on Facebook, like this Sorta My Podcast on Instagram or Twitter, and you can always follow us on SoundCloud and iTunes. You got to be listening to this somewhere, so while you're there, leave a comment or rate and review. You know, these things let us know what you think, what you hate, you know, what we can change, what we can do better. How can we please you, God? We just want to make you happy.
Why don't you love us anymore?
Leave us a Sarah message. All right. Anyways, in follow-up news, guys, I wanted to bring something up here at the top of the show because we did a sort of my update with our review for Spider-Man Homecoming. Little news came out based on something that we discussed in that, which was Uncle Ben. And it turns out the writer of Homecoming, John Francis Daly, explained why he left out Uncle Ben. Apparently there was a scene where May is giving Peter some of Uncle Ben's clothes, like his old suits or something, for the Homecoming dance.
Oh.
It is apparently a really sweet scene, but it never got past like being talked about. And the reason they decided not to do it was because they were real solid on not having him anywhere else in the movie. They only really had this one scene, and he just didn't want it to be a throwaway thing. And I believe I said in that review, it was like just one little blurb. I would prefer throwaway than complete ignorance.
Yeah, that would have been fine with me.
Well, having the nod to Uncle Ben, it would have been nice. Uncle Ben was a big part of Peter's life. He should have been there. But I can also appreciate them not wanting to take away Ben's value.
Well, you also go into a movie like this knowing that you have Easter egg hunters. You know, you got people looking for shit in the background. You put a picture on Peter's desk in his room, and maybe a couple like family photos in the living room or something. You know, just like some stuff. Maybe May's wearing like a fucking men's t-shirt at one point. Just a little subtle fucking thing, and like the diehards will pick up on it. Well, they'll pick that up, and then you put in that one little scene where she's giving him Uncle Ben's clothes, and that does sound like such a sweet, heartbreaking scene. You know,
and
could have been great.
But the other thing is, you got to think we're at that point in the Marvel universe where we know what's going on. We know Uncle Ben's had the talk. The wrestling match happened. Like all of this shit has happened. We've seen it before.
Well, now this is now we're at that crossroads though, because we're at that point. Yes, where movies are skipping over these origin stories because we know them. But there's a line, you know, there's acknowledgement, and then there's telling the whole fucking thing, just beating the dead horse.
There are some things you just shouldn't leave out.
Yeah, right. And Uncle Ben is an extremely.
Oh, I assume he'll end up becoming a thing.
Like if
so that's
they
why
don't do
a little nod would have been okay with me.
Yeah,
if he's coming.
If they don't do it in number 2, then like we got a real fucking problem here.
That definitely answers our Tobey Maguire question though. So she's not going to meet a Ben, but he's already passed away.
I think they've that establishes yes, Ben is dead. Like they're not changing that.
Yeah.
So that's good because we were worried about like
Tobey Maguire playing.
Well, it wasn't so much that. It was just like any Uncle Ben that they cast just coming in and being like, "Hey man,
this is where
you got Spider Kid. What's up? I'm a cool Uncle Ben." He drives a Ferrari.
No. You know what we need? You know who we need Aunt May to be with now?
Who? Tony?
No.
JJ. Oh, God. Wait a minute. No. In the comics, she doesn't get together with J. Jonah Jameson. She gets together with his dad.
Yeah. JJ. Like,
okay.
They're all
JJ. They're all
JJ.
Like,
okay, fine.
This is right over Travis's head.
It's interesting to me. I did not know this.
How cool would that be to see come up in the future? she goes out on a date with someone.
It would make sense so long as they progress.
They progress into it.
It would take until like if they wanted to do a because
Parker Industries comes
into play. They wanted to take it until he's almost 30. Well, like how old is he in the comics? Is he almost 30 or is he over 30?
I'm pretty sure he's
definitely not in his 40s.
At least 30.
He should be in his 40s. He should be way older by now. But yeah,
right now I think Peter Parker's pushing like 90.
Here's the thing. No. Peter Parker came out. Spider-Man was in the 60s. Yeah, so I mean, like, even if they made him fit. Right now, he is probably the closest to his appropriate age of any of the original Marvel heroes.
Something.
Yeah, he's only so many years old for sure. But, anyways,
we trailed off.
Yeah, we are way off track. Speaking of comics, though, let's talk about the things that we were reading, the things that bring us to the table, to the podcast. Odle, you started us out last time, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to take us out on this one, Trav?
Nope,
not at all. Not even.
Do you want to bring up the rear, Travis?
Yeah, I like it from behind. There.
All right. Eventually, we're gonna have you take us out, though. All right. Well, so I guess that leaves me. I will start us off, and another update, another Spider-Man update. We've got a thing going in this podcast. Yeah, Spectacular Spider-Man number 2 actually fully explains the big reveal that I had mentioned from Spectacular Spider-Man number 1. I said there was this huge crazy thing that happens at the end. I wouldn't spoil it. I'm still not going to spoil it here because it's only in its second issue, and I feel like people are still testing the waters with this one. Don't test the waters. Just get it. You're going to like it. I'm 2 issues in. I love it. I'm in love with it. It's the Spider-Man comics that I remember reading as a kid so far. But with all the updated shit, like pre-Secret Empire. The big reveal at the end there, it gets fully explained. It's apparently an old story of Spider-Man's that I was unfamiliar with. Like, it had happened in the comics, played out. But they're bringing it back for this story. And we don't know where exactly this is going to lead, and, So, that was my update. Anyways, the books that I am actively reading right now, the 2 that really stood out to me, Secret Empire number 7 and Justice League number 26. I'm going to talk about Secret Empire first, and Odle, for you, I'm going to leave out any spoilers because you're so fucking far behind. Because you suck at comic books.
It's been so bad lately.
They said it at the comic shop. You haven't been there in 2 months.
No, that's not true. I was there at I messaged Lucas. He hasn't seen me in 2 months.
Okay.
It's been 3 weeks since I've been up to the shop.
That's
so, and I'm going up Tuesday. I already told him. I promised him. I bought a gift card specifically to use it to enter.
He's talking shit about you, bro.
Talking shit over here. We're about to have a podcast war because they got their own podcast. Great one, Comic Plunder.
Do they?
Anyways, yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah, at the Inner Geek, they've got their own podcast.
I told you to listen to theirs.
Is the podcast called Comic Plunder?
Now it is called Comic Plunder.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I thought
it's also their website.
Didn't know you could change the name of your podcast halfway through. More than that, way more than halfway through.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
We need to get on your fucking nerd room again with the organization and shit.
Yeah,
like I'm surprised it's taking you this long to invite me out again.
I actually have a few ideas of a different way I want to go at it.
Oh god. All right. Okay, we won't go into it right now. Anyways, Secret Empire number 7. This issue is Black Widow. Pretty much the entirety of the issue is Black Widow and the Red Room assassination plan. And they've kind of been leading up to in the past couple issues, essentially to get rid of Captain America. In this issue, you are going to see Cap get the ever-loving crap beaten out of him. Like, bad. We see the return of Mosaic and Sam Cap, the Falcon, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam Cap. And we finally see the culmination of Ulysses' vision from all the way back in Civil War II, where His premonition was that Miles Morales, Spider-Man, is going to kill Captain America.
Oh my.
So, this was actually a really exciting issue. There is a death in it. I am pre-warning you, and it hits hard, and that is not just a...
hard.
It's hard. Like, maybe 4 of you got that reference, I hope. Anyways, the 4 listeners that we have. It is a really shocking moment. Like, I was taken aback. This story has been hit and miss so far. Secret Empire, like, started out real strong, kind of dips, like, in the middle there. I feel like maybe this issue and the next issue seem like they're going to be real cool. Well, this issue was real cool, and it is definitely one that brought me back into it, because I was at that point where I was like, why the fuck am I still doing this to myself? Buying these goddamn Marvel events, and they're disappointing. And then I read this issue, and I was like, oh shit, oh, this makes so much sense.
Well,
so many questions are answered.
There's only 2 more issues now, right?
No, there are 3, because
I
saw an advertisement. Yeah, they bumped it up to 10, as they do.
I was gonna
do
say,
that with every
now,
fucking one.
Did they start at 8, then immediately bump it up to 9, and then bump it up to 10, or did they start at 9?
I can't remember specifically, but I feel like they did bump it up to 9.
I know.
And did you see that cover 410? Captain America and that new, like, armored, like, it's Captain Hydra. For sure. Like, if that's called anything but Captain Hydra, that suit, like, I don't want it. It's Captain Hydra. I don't care what they call him after that. He's Captain Hydra.
Can't be America. That's for sure.
Oh, he's got a new fucking shield and everything. It's the whole thing.
Give him a swastika.
The emblem on each issue is...
It has progressed, yeah. And they redacted the emblem on that cover. Like, They redacted the
final emblem?
Yeah, the final emblem.
Really?
It has, like, phased out, and it said redacted across the front of it. Yeah, so that's kind of...
Like, I feel like they may have made some last-minute changes.
I feel like that suit should have been, like, let's leave that for the day it comes out. But, you know, they don't do shit like that anymore. Anyways, Justice League number 26 is my next book. And this book wastes no time in bringing us into the middle of a story in progress that actually starts 20 years from the current events in the DC Comics in New York / Olympus. Yeah, if that does not pique your interest, like, I don't know what will.
Did you say New York / Olympus?
Yes, and there is a sprawling visual, not a 2-page spread, which I feel like may have been better for this, but the sprawling visual of these new characters that we're meeting over a cliff looking on New York, and there is Mount Olympus in the middle of the rubble of fucking New York. And it's so cool. It's really, really cool. And yeah, it does have brand new characters, brand new DC characters for us to get used to. And these are apparently the children of the Justice League.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that cover.
Yeah, you saw that little thing that popped up.
They look badass, yeah.
Oh, they're so cool. All right. Yeah, this new crew we've got 2 kids, might be twins, and one of which has the Green Lantern emblem on their back. The other one is wearing kind of like a scarf shawl type thing with the Green Lantern emblem on it. The interesting thing about these 2 is that later when they're battling, one of them uses yellow energy and the other one uses red energy.
Sinestro.
But neither one of them have rings. I've scoured this book. I can't find a ring on their hands. So
their emblems are green though. On
of Green Lantern, yeah. So I don't know.
Like how
there's a lot.
The current one.
Hal Jordan, Simon Baz, Jessica Cruz, Kyle Rayner.
I want to know what's going on with this guy.
Yeah, we'll get to this guy. And then we've got an obvious Flash descendant. She doesn't seem to have any other mix of anything else. She's connected to the Speed Force, and she's Flash. Then we have another chick who is all teched out. She's got these like weird energy solars. Like kind of like Iron Man's arc reactor
coming
on
through her
each
skin.
shoulder. Yeah, she
under her skin kind of thing.
Real funky. She obviously seems to be a descendant of Cyborg. And later, her body actually, like, her fingers jut out and go into this computer and shit. So she's some sort of biological cyborg. Then you thought we were done with them, but then we've got an obvious Atlantean descendant. And I can't remember her exact name, but her last name is Curry. I find that out later in the issue. But yeah, she is an Atlantean descendant and their current queen. Then we get the really mysterious one. This guy right here, the obvious leader of the group, seems like a tough guy. He's a brawler. He is wearing Superman's cape, which he has attached by a Wonder Woman emblem. He's carrying Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, and wrapped around his arm, which you can see more clearly in the last panel of the book here, is Wonder Woman's tiara.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he's got that around wrapping.
So it wasn't the Shazam symbol I was seeing. It was the Wonder Woman symbol. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know who this guy is. I'm going out on a limb here and saying it's not Jonathan Kent, the current Superboy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's not him because he is also not like nearly as strong as he should be if he is. Because the villains in this book, he kind of gets like knocked on his ass with. He puts up a bit of a fight. One of these villains is some sort of possessed version of Cyborg. The way he talks, the fact that his skin is somewhat light but also still brown, leads me to believe that this is Cyborg. And the way the characters talk about him and stuff, they keep calling him Curry though. And so I think he's possessed by something. So this is some sort of aged, possessed cyborg who's putting a beat down on these characters. And then they have another character called Sovereign. And she is some epic fucking villain-looking thing. I don't know. She is insane, man. She looks tough as shit. And all they're doing in this book really is trying to hold her off so they can go back to the past. So you can already tell this thing builds tons of story. So many answers we want answered. So many questions we want answered.
So many answers we want answered.
Yeah, and I mean, it envelops you in the story right away, but it doesn't do it in a way where you're like, oh, fuck this, I don't know what's going on. It does it in a way where you need to know more. You'll want to know more. At the very end, the last panel, the last page of the book, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it, because this is going to make you want to read this book. It's going to make you want to read the next book, blah, blah, blah. The Justice League of our time has met this younger Justice League of the future. And they've asked, who are you? The Flash-type character chick, again, I can't remember these people's names, is like, we're your children from the future. The world is almost finished, broken, billions dead. And then our Superman, Wonder Woman hybrid dude here says, and it's all your fault. And that's it. And then it says, next, Justice League, the next generation.
You can tell the way they're facing off against each other, like whose kid is whose.
Yeah, you can see like Cyborg's chick is, I don't know, like Mara.
Possibly.
Which, by the way, Mara has replaced Aquaman, apparently due to the events of the Aquaman book, which I don't know. But yeah, Mara's the new Aquaman in the Justice League, just to catch up, I guess. But this looks cool, man. Like, I cannot wait to see where this goes. Like, it's such a cool story right off that. I just want to know what's going on in these kids' future. Like, for real. It seems so fucking awesome. So yeah, if you're not reading Justice League, that right there is like, if that doesn't get you reading Justice League at over 25 issues in, then you don't fucking care. Like, you're done. You don't care. Don't ever claim to. Because that's interesting shit. That's classic comic worthy shit. So, alright, well that does it for my books right here. We're gonna move it on to Alpha Spectre. What are you reading, my sir?
I'm working on getting caught up on some of my other books. I've read the new, I don't know if it's the new, but I'm getting caught up on Seven to Eternity, another one of Rick Remender's stories, Fantasy World. King of Whispers, if you hear his offer, you are under his like control.
Yes, I got that from the first issue. I did read the first issue.
Not even so much like you're under his control, but you are under his rule, under his hand. Like the stories progressed. This group of Mosaks, which are people that have abilities, like supernatural abilities. There's one called Goblin. He can change his shape. He can look like other people. He disguised himself as someone else to obtain information. There was someone in one of the previous books, if their arm got chopped off, they chopped off one of the enemy's arms they were fighting and just put it on in its place.
What?
Like, that was one of my favorite characters.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And then they got beheaded. There was no coming back.
Oh God, it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
No, there was this Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it was fucking huge.
Wait a minute.
And
I gotta process the T-Rex here.
And like, if it opened its mouth, it could transport people to other places.
Oh my!
In its mouth.
Why did I stop reading this?
That guy was so fucking cool.
Okay, I'll tell you why I stopped reading this. I stopped reading it because I was like, that seems like a cool story and one that I wouldn't hate. But 90% of my reason, I had this gut drive that I really wanted to buy these books, and it was 90% based on the cover.
Oh. You know, the thing
is, the covers are so great.
Okay, the covers, they're drawn by Jerome Opeña, and he is a fantastic artist. He does a lot of work with Reminder.
They look like classic type Western poster. Yeah, and it's awesome.
It's so cool. But like, the main character's daughter is now into the story, which like, she's in the first issue. Yeah. And he's teaching her how to control her powers by controlling like this eel type thing that she shoots from her bow. And like, she makes a mind link with it, and she can direct it in the air to her target.
That's rad.
Yeah, fucking cool, right? So like, things have progressed. They kidnapped the King of Whispers.
This is sci-fi porn at its best, man. Like, for real. Yeah. Like, I don't mean that in like the sexual manner. I mean, like, if you get a hard on for fucking sci-fi, really cool shit. Yeah, like, everything you said.
Like,
is
this book is so for
which is amazing. Why Dino Riders isn't a much more popular cartoon, but
but like
it's dinosaurs with lasers. So, yeah,
like the shit going on in this book right now. Like, the people have split up. You have, like, the main character and the King of Whispers, who he wants to kill but he can't, are off doing this. And, like, the rest of the people are just trying to heal one of their people and survive and get back to the other two. There's borderline espionage. There's bribery.
It sounds like this book, because when I read the first issue, this book seemed like it was one of those, like, these people have something they need to do, but at the same time they're trying to preserve what they have.
Yeah.
And it seems like that hasn't changed. It's just the escalation of both of those things has become more and more.
The key point of this one family is their name has been slandered and driven into the mud so hard because they would not hear his offer. They have been outcast and in exile for like decades. The whole family has.
Yeah.
For not hearing an offer.
And that's one of the things they go through in the first issue.
Yeah.
Of that.
So now, like, the guy's son, like the initial guy that would not hear the offer, like, they all stand by that belief. Well, now he's the one who's traveling with the King of Whispers. Now his daughter's thinking, like, her dad's, like, heard an offer, and he's, like, doing all this, and, like, no. He's trying to save his family.
It's a misunderstanding.
And it's such a great book.
It seems like one of those things where when it ends, it's gonna end on such a bitter note. Like,
I feel like it.
There's gonna be a decent conclusion, but it's not gonna be an everyone wins.
It's not gonna be. Yeah. It's not gonna be overall satisfying.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, this is one of those. Like, this is not a miniseries. This is an
ongoing. Yeah. This is
awesome.
So it has.
I'll let you read the first issue if you want. Like, and he's got all the others, so you can catch up.
And here's the thing: like, I'm sure every episode of the podcast, I think I bring up Rick Remender. Whether it's Deadly Class,
you definitely did
to
last
Eternity,
time, yeah.
Low, which is another one I'm working on getting caught up on. Which
creative.
I gave Bob the first trade of Low to read. When I get it back from him, Travis, I'm going to throw it at you.
See, him and Bob were always like they were always doing independent books on this. And I was always Marvel DC.
Why can't I talk about The Evil Dead? Why can't I talk about Fight Club?
Because you're not reading the new. Oh, I found out that Ash versus Army of Darkness. It is a new ongoing. Like issue 2 just came out. If you
I may have my gateway to talk about Ash.
$3 to $4 a month, man. That's all you gotta give me. I'll go pick it up.
Right on. We'll save that for maybe next time.
Yeah.
But, I've been trying to catch up on some of my independent stuff, working on my Marvel, my DC. I'm a couple issues behind on my 2 favorite characters right now, which hurts my soul, but that's on my reading list for Monday.
You got a lot of catching up to do.
Bob, with Iron Fist and Nightwing, not that much. I'm only like 1 or 2 issues behind on each. But Bob tossed me a trade. It was Jeff Johns' Green Lantern stuff, Tales of the Sinestro Corps. All hail Jeff Johns.
Travis. Jeff Johns not only saved the Flash and Green Lanterns at points where they had pretty much written them. They had fucked those characters up so bad that they were about to just get rid of them if they couldn't save them. Jeff Johns saved them. Then the New 52 was stagnating so much that DC was losing horrendous amounts of money. Damn. Jeff Johns came up with Rebirth, which has totally saved DC.
Now Jeff Johns is DC.
Jeff Johns is DC. Jeff Johns is comics. All hail
Jeff Johns.
But he tossed it, and it's all these little side stories of one-off characters of the Sinestro Corps. But it has some other tie-ins to the Green Lantern Corps. There's a whole section where it lists almost every single fucking Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And then it lists a bunch of the Yellow Lanterns, and I started reading it, and it was there was a couple of Kyle Rayner stories that got me really interested in that character. Some of the other Yellow Lanterns, Despotellus is a sentient virus.
I've never heard of this.
Oh my god. There was a Green Lantern. He was supposedly the best. He was one of the best, one of the strongest willed. He would patrol his sector for months on end with little to no break before returning home, even after his wife had a child.
Shit.
He went to return to his home world, couldn't establish communication with his wife and child. So, he hauled ass getting back, and what was supposed to be a welcome back party, everyone was dead. Everyone was dead. There were banners, there were people
hardcore.
Dead in the street, everything. And
how is he not a Red Lantern?
Well, see, here's the thing. He was a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's going through, and he's scouring the planet to find someone that's alive.
Right.
And he doesn't. But the longer he's on the planet, the sicker he gets, until eventually he collapses. And in his final breath, he sees the cause. And this little virus thing comes out of him, and he sees it right before he dies. And it's Despotellus, the sentient virus that killed 85% of his
For a moment there, I thought you were saying that Despotellus was the one with the dead homeworld. That's why I said the Red Lantern thing. I'm like, shit.
No,
But still, why didn't that guy get a Red Lantern? Fuck. Because it was before it was really a thing.
Yeah. There were a lot of really cool stories. The way it came off is these were all 4 or 5 page things in the end of Green Lantern comics that all tied together. Because there were 2 constant characters. There was this one lady who was telling all the stories. She was the keeper of the Book of Parallax.
Which, by the way, Parallax is the thing Jeff Johns had to save Green Lantern from. Parallax was, Parallax was a few different things. But the reason it almost ruined Green Lantern is because, what was it, Star City? Is that
Coast City.
Coast City. Coast City got destroyed. All of Hal Jordan's loved ones killed.
Damn.
And so Hal Jordan was feverishly trying to find a way to save his city, to bring everyone back, which led him down a path of killing the Guardians, every Green Lantern.
There's an iconic cover where it's Hal Jordan with his hands up like this, with this maniacal look on his face, and all like 2 to 3 rings on each finger.
Yeah,
right.
And he gained this fucking ultimate power and shit, and like it led to like the Justice League taking him on and everything, and it pretty much destroyed Green Lantern's credibility because it was somewhat poorly written. It's an interesting idea. But it was executed poorly.
But then once Jeff Johns came on the scene, he
Wrapped
took
it up.
that story. He made a mini-series out of that character.
Do you know what it
brought
was
Hal
called?
Jordan back to glory, and now he's right back where he should
know what
be.
it was called? Green Lantern Rebirth. The Flash one.
You can rewrite anything in Rebirth.
Yeah, the Flash was called Flash Rebirth. And now it's DC Universe Rebirth. Right? He's like, we'll fix the Green Lantern. Okay, well now we gotta fix it. Fuck it, let's just fix the whole thing.
That sounds really cool though.
It was it was interesting. Yeah, I mean, like it's not.
But how do you wrap that up?
Yeah, it's not without its merits. It's popped up in things like Convergence recently.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like they're like, no, that never happened. But still, it was like, yeah, we totally fucked that character up.
I finally got around to starting my original Nightwing trades.
Yep.
I jumped
about goddamn time.
Well, see, I started into it, and it's like the thing about this story is if you don't know anything about Dick Grayson or Nightwing going into like this, his first like 4-issue miniseries,
and I don't think like most people who are aware of Nightwing don't. Like they don't know why that started.
They say they do, but they don't know all of his origins.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like you open this up and it gives you like a very brief thing, but it talks about like certain things that happened in the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what happened in like New Teen Titans and stuff like that, you're just kind of, okay.
The fucking Judas contract being a big one.
Yeah, which like this starts out, he's in that blue and gold suit. So like it was really cool to go in and see that, and at the end of the first issue, he tells Batman he quits. He
that's right.
Being a superhero.
It was the Nightwing issue that he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he did that in Teen Titans.
No, like that was
that's right.
That was
the first
issue of the 4-part mini. He tells Batman, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to make my own life. He quits, and he has this glorious long 90s hair. And like, this ridiculously stacked body. And I'm just like, there's no way that you're an acrobat with that like fucking beefy of a body.
Right.
Like it was pretty much a copy of Superman.
Yeah, he was built like Superman.
By the way, Superman didn't have a fucking mullet. He just had long hair.
Yeah.
Jackasses.
Yeah.
It was draped over his ears. He had long hair.
Like, it was the same hair.
Right.
And when I mean flowing, I mean flowing. There was a scene where he
was
in the Nightwing
An entire
suit.
sideways 2-page spread was dedicated to his hair.
His hair is like flowing to the side because of the wind.
Herbal essences.
But like, fucking...
An herbal essences ad right in the middle of the book.
It's like a 2-page mini story.
Do you remember those commercials at all?
Yes.
The herbal essence?
A little bit.
Yes.
These women just orgasming all over their shower.
It is
because
they bought a new shampoo.
Dick Grayson did the same.
Dick Grayson did the same.
I mean, when you got hair like that, you got to take care of it.
God, it's got little white spots on the tile, like behind the actual shower screen. All right, anyways, whatever you were saying. I'm tired of talking about Dick Grayson's dick cum.
So like, I've read the first couple issues of that. Like, I'm trying to start reading while I'm at work. Is my thing. And,
like I've been thank you for taking my advice.
And taking a trade to work is a lot easier for me and a lot more like peace of mind than taking my single issues to work.
Yeah, I'll show you what I did about the single issues after the podcast.
And so like, I read that whole Tales of the Sinestro Corps in one day at work.
Yeah.
Right now I'm working through Rock of Ages, which is really fun.
Oh yeah, did you borrow Bob's copy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did, and I lost it, and then I gave it back. So never mind, you got that copy.
Yeah. So I'm working through that. I'm not going to talk about that, but fuck.
Really cool story.
You know, working through Nightwing, like I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, couple issues of each on my breaks.
Right, you got to change.
So, like, I'm working on a backlog at work, but I still gotta work on my current books at home.
I've got at least fucking 5 or 6 of those short boxes of shit I haven't read. So,
like, I have 5 or 6 short boxes of current shit.
Okay, no. All right, all right, fine. You've got more, but that's only because you had the extra money to spend and you practice no self-control whatsoever.
That's fair.
If I practice no self-control whatsoever, I'd be in the same spots.
That's fair. That's more than fair.
I mean, if we want to get technical, I've got 8 long boxes sitting in my fucking storage area.
Okay, if we want to get technical, I probably have close to 20 short boxes of shit I haven't read.
Shit that's fucking like left over from the start of my comics.
No, $1 a pound sales. I'm like, I get that.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I miss those so much.
That's nice.
Like,
I got so many of my.
That cover looks cool.
Stories.
Like, I'll pick. This is 2 through 6 of a miniseries. I'll pick this up. I can hunt down number 1 later.
That's what a lot of those unread short boxes are. It's just shit I got there.
You know, through those, I did find some cool like full miniseries like there.
I got a couple full stories. I got a couple incomplete stories where I'm still only missing like 1 or 2 issues.
Like
I've got all mine separated though, and that's why you need me organizing those comics.
But through some of these $1 a pound sales is where I picked up like the full Kitty Pryde and Wolverine miniseries, with Scarlet Vision,
which you picked up. And I was there when you picked that up. I was so mad. I was like, you fucker.
like I got that. I got the Scarlet Witch and Vision.
You go with a buddy. Like, I mean, you can look for shit for each other, but like, you know, whoever found it. First come, first serve. Whoever found it. Yeah.
Because I mean, there were a couple of things that you guys got that I didn't. And then they had some of those trade sales where I ended up with some Captain America stuff.
That's where I got my Punisher Max fucking trades, and I love those. So.
Which, at some point when I get caught up on my other logs, I want to read those.
That is where Palmati shines, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Like, forget about Harley Quinn. Palmati on Punisher? Yes.
But, that's where I picked up that Captain America stuff.
I remember that was another one, too, where I was like, motherfucker. Anyways, all right. Well, moving this along, Travis, you got a little novel here in front of you about the few issues you read.
I read about 5 issues of the Unbelievable Gwenpool. I read 14 to 18.
I pushed this one on you because I was like, you're gonna love this story. The new one, I feel like invoked the artist in you. Like,
I mean, definitely. 14 to 15 though was art by Maisha Haynes, and I was not down for that, actually. It was very cartoony.
Well, she's got a very cartoony sense about her.
I mean, I didn't hate it. I was just like, I feel like I'm reading a cartoon.
Yeah.
16 to 18 was Guru Hero or something like that.
Honestly, I've never looked at the artist on those books.
Yeah, it got a lot better by that point. I like that artist.
Yeah, those books do look really good. They did dip in the middle.
Like 18, the new one you were talking about, the art looked a lot better from that artist compared to 14. What I read was, I kind of picked it up at a point where Gwen is trying to help her friend Cecil. Is that how you say his name? Cecil?
Yeah, Cecil. He was killed by MODOK in the early issues of the book.
Yeah, he was killed, and he's currently in like a ghost-like state, and she wants to help him out, so they go to her friend Sarah. I don't know exactly what she is. She's like a sorcerer.
Was that the Mystic Eye? Yeah.
Yeah, the Mystic Eye. Is that her name? Yeah. Okay. They go to her, and she opens up a portal for them, and she tells them that going through it will hold answers for them, but she senses some evil in it, and she's like about to tell them like, don't go into it. Right. But Gwen goes ahead and jumps straight in, and
anytime you're opening a portal with some evil, we know where that's going.
Straight in the bathtub. That's where the portal was.
Yeah.
But Cecil follows her, and they end up in Ghost Rider's trunk.
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time something sexual with the ghost has happened. See Ghostbusters #1, the movie.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, right?
But, yeah, they end up in Ghost Rider's trunk as soon as he's landing his, sweet ride on some fancy patio.
Yeah, I think he's driving what is it? Is it a Camaro now?
It
looks like a Camaro, like an old Camaro, I think.
It definitely does. I can't pinpoint exactly what kind of car it is.
I'm sure if I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again, because
that's what he looked like.
The Ghost Rider in the book that you read, Robbie Reyes, is the Ghost Rider from Agents
I've seen
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I've seen where he was introduced in the show.
Yeah.
As soon as he's landing his car on the patio of this fancy party, and it's a bunch of dwarves standing around, dwarf that's like pinned down, and there's a big crystal, and it's an ore from a meteor that they stole from a museum, and they're going to do a ritual where they want to put this dwarf's body, well, I guess his conscious is going to transfer into the ore, so they can put the ore in a body that they've been saving for a long time. Because apparently this story goes way back. They've wanted to do this ritual. Ghost Rider goes ahead and takes the ore and throws it in his trunk. And Gwen pops out of the trunk. And you find out that Hawkeye's been there staking out the whole thing. Ghost Rider makes it home. They can't catch... Kate and Gwen can't catch up to him. But Ghost Rider makes it home. Turns into Robbie. Just leaves the ore in his trunk. The whole time that Cecil's in the ore, the Ghost Rider spirit's talking to him. Tells him like, we're not, so different, you and I. Maybe you didn't get revenge on the person who did this to you, basically, by, killing you. You didn't get revenge on the right person. And you find out, basically, he's trying to convince, the Ghost Rider Spirit's trying to convince him to take over Gwenpool's body.
Cool.
Yeah. Trying to take over Gwenpool's body and killing her, basically. So Gwen and Kate end up going to Ghost Rider's high school. They get the ore out of the trunk. At the same time, these dwarves drive by because they overheard her talking about it, and they go and steal the ore back from her, and they go to a loading dock.
And then this ore has like a special distinction to them, right? Like it's
it goes back to when they tried it before. I think.
Yeah, because they can do something with it to get Cecil's body.
Yeah, you can use it to transfer like consciousness into bodies, and basically it's not just consciousness. They can actually control the body, taste, feel, smell, everything.
Oh shit!
So like they steal the ore back from Gwen, and they go to a loading dock to perform the ritual that they've been wanting to do for a very long time. Gwen, Kate, and Ghost Rider end up showing up like as soon as they're in the middle of it, and basically end up like killing a couple of them.
Classic Starsky and Hutch type shit.
Yeah, basically. They're shooting guns out the window, arrows out the window, and Ghost Rider's, cruising it. They end up killing a couple of them or whatever, like most of them run away. But they release the beast, the body that they wanted to put the dwarves' consciousness in. And it's this big purple beast. I don't know what it is really myself.
Again, this is another one of those things where I feel like this thing has probably shown up before.
I feel like it too, yeah. It's got to be significant somehow. It has like a bunch of black markings on it, but basically looks like a big purple dog. Gwen goes ahead and slam dunks Cecil's ore right into the forehead of it because that's the only way to like give him a body, really. And he wants her to do it. So she does that. Cecil kills like a bunch more dwarves, and they're like, okay, we promise we'll never like terrorize LA again with all our magic and such. After that, she basically feels like she's done right by the things she's done wrong.
Yeah.
And the past comics that I haven't actually got to read.
Because for a while, she's kind of like an anti-hero. She's not trying to do wrong.
She keeps messing up.
Yeah, she has killed a bunch of people.
She's a
fool. So she's really having fun with it because up to this point, she hasn't really seen this world as real. Because to her, it's a comic book universe. She's from our world, the real world. Yeah.
About to get into some of that.
Yeah. So, like, to her, it's all fake. So she can do whatever she wants. There's no fucking consequences.
It almost seems like she acts like she's invincible.
Yeah,
almost.
And there's a moment in those early issues where someone, like, one of them pulls her to the side and is like, no, like, I mean, however you see this is real to us. Like, these are our lives. These are people we care about. She's not totally convinced by that, because even at one point, like, she's with Batrock, she's like, tell me about one thing before this moment in your life. And it's like the first appearance of him in whatever issue.
Oh, yeah.
And he tries to explain it, but he can't. Like, he's having trouble telling her about his origins. So she's kind of rocking the fucking boat in the Marvel Universe, more or less, proving that it is a comic book.
There's definitely going to be some on that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, like, that's a big part of Gwenpool here. Well, no, she feels like she's right her wrongs by putting Cecil back in a body, and she decides to actually go, approach her family in the comic book universe. Yeah. When she gets there, she doesn't expect to know who she is or anything. Her brother, Teddy, knows exactly who she is, pulls her straight in the house, and they go straight into a portal right in the ground.
Yeah.
And it takes them all back to the real world, where none of them remember anything but Teddy. Teddy remembers it. But that's because of something's about to happen. So she starts living her life like normal. Her family wants her to go get a job, so she gets a job, and she's not writing her fan fiction like she's always talking about, and so she eventually decides that she's going to work towards that. But eventually she starts noticing her speech bubbles, the panels, and she even moves the panels. She touches them, and
I love that panel where the first time she's looking at kind of the side of the panel, and then the next panel she reaches out, she's actually touching the side of the panel.
But the scene changes on her, so she's actually touching someone's face.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I love the book so far.
Yeah.
But she starts noticing all this, and it starts coming back to her, and eventually she starts trying to fill up a speech bubble as much as she can to where it pushes her out of her window of her room, and her parents think she jumped out the window, but the speech bubble actually pushed her outside. And she ends up in the hospital, and she ends up getting a hold of a pencil where she erases borders the panels and gets out of.
Oh God, yeah!
Gets out of the world.
Talking to
herself.
Next panel self.
Yeah, she can see herself in next panel. So there's multiples of her, and she just kind of gets a little mind fucked herself, but she really brings it back together. She's like, okay, I know what I'm doing, and she crawls out of the panel and ends up walking across pages from past comic pages to future comic pages, and her family are still in that universe. Like, where the fuck is she?
Yeah.
And but she's back in the comic book universe.
I think she's outside the comic book universe.
Yeah, actually, she's outside of space and time in general. Yeah. But she crawls back into one of the panels, I guess, which doesn't really get explained in the book, but
I feel like it will, because you haven't finished this arc yet.
So she gets back into the comic book universe by climbing out of the panel. Her brother, it takes us back to where her brother appeared when she first emerges in the Marvel Universe.
Because it's turned out that he was there the whole time she was there.
They thought each other were dead the whole time.
He was doing schmuck odd jobs because he didn't have any.
He really sucked at starting off. Yeah, he didn't have Social Security, trying to get in jobs.
She immediately had a costume made and a fake ID. It was just made for her, and he was doing shit for villains.
Yeah, she's all willy nilly, and he's trying to live real life in this new universe, but can't.
Yeah.
Future Spider-Man, Sarah.
Oh God, that guy.
Yeah, and one of the Doombots approach him and tell him when Gwen, in a couple years, Gwen's going to ruin all this. She's ruined all of our identities. She knows everything about us. She can literally
fucks up the Marvel universe.
Yeah, she can literally crumble all of our time like a piece of paper.
Gwenpool fucks the Marvel universe.
Basically, they tell Teddy exactly what's going to happen. Basically, in the future, Gwen at that current time, she goes back to her parents in the universe where she left the hospital bed.
"Quote unquote" real universe.
Yeah, where they thought it was the real universe, and she tells Teddy, "We've never left the we've never left the comic book universe," and rips her parents and the whole entire scene in half. It's basically just a mindfuck. They've never left the comic book universe. It was I'm getting the feeling that it's something that future Spider-Man, what's Sarah's name?
The Mystic Guy.
Mystic Guy. I might have to get used to that. Mystic Guy and the Doombot, basically the ones who created this portal, I think, for Teddy to take her back into some kind of a
Maybe
hallucination.
it's a whole fucking anytime you get into time travel or dimension hopping, it's a mind fuck. It can be at least.
It seems like the past two stories I've read have had plenty of time travel and dimension travel.
It really makes you wonder where the fuck is this story going? Like what? Like how are they going to tie that? And it's been a fun book up to this point. It's one of the few Marvel books. I'm canceling Captain America soon. I'm canceling Captain Marvel. I'm going to keep Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Gwenpool.
Gwenpool touches bases with a lot of the characters in general.
Yeah.
To she kind of hops into wherever their life is at the moment. There's
this early moment where they're trying to do a mission for MODOK, and they get intercepted by Thor, who right now is Jane Foster. Yeah. And she fucking she's about to get waylaid by Thor, and she just screams at Jane! And Thor fucking stops in her tracks because nobody in the Marvel Universe knows who Thor is.
When Ghost Rider's taking off with the oar with Cecil in it, she tries to use, what's his name? Robbie. She tries to call him Robbie to stop him. She's like, that worked on Jane Foster.
Right?
It didn't work this time.
It's been a great book.
And I can see how that will ruin, is the future Spider-Man Miles Morales? The Blacks?
We don't know.
Oh, we don't know?
Yeah,
okay.
This is the first time we've ever seen a future Miles Morales.
Yeah, I thought it was Miles.
Aside from maybe the Civil War II, he kills Captain America.
But I can see how
that's recent history.
I could see how she could ruin everybody's life, even by crumpling their pages, basically destroying their universe.
I can't wait to see where Gwenpool goes.
She basically has a celestial power.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah,
and she hasn't fully experienced it yet.
Yeah, she's like a child with it. She's like Deadpool with it and doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
She even comes up against Deadpool at one point.
It makes sense. Yet. It makes sense.
Anyways, it is a really great book. I knew handing that one to you was going to be fun for you. Especially with all the fourth wall art type stuff.
I read every gigantic speech bubble, even that was half showing.
I did the same thing, and that pushed her out the window. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you liked that book. I'm gonna keep pushing it on you and stuff. You should definitely backtrack and start from the beginning.
I probably will after this.
And it's nothing you have to do on the podcast. Just read it for you.
That'll be my book. Yeah. Close to the heart.
All right, guys. Well, we are moving out of comics and into the phone booth, where it all began, really.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you think about it, with Superman, we have this whole new world, and
a whole new world,
a brand new place for you and me. In Fandom Fest. Good. Nope. I read my notes wrong. I took a great transition. I fucked it.
Get it out. It'll be fine.
No, I'm gonna leave it in. In video game news, the Batman Telltale Season 2 trailer came out. This has a lot of cool reviews. I did not play the first season, and this makes me want to, because Alfred has an eye patch. They bring Amanda Waller in. Batman owes Joker a favor. Riddler is apparently a pre-Batman villain in this universe. I guess he'd been murdering people before and then stopped, and then there's the Batman, and now he started again.
Funny thing, they touch on that in Gotham.
Kinda. But in that, okay, there is no Batman right now, but...
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bruce is still a child, right?
Well, Bruce, the end of this last season kind of took us into the first makings of Batman. We won't get into all that, because that's not video game news. In movie news... The point of this is that it's fast. In movie news, Elizabeth Olsen reveals that Infinity War is actually going to explore the Vision Scarlet Witch romance, which is really cool because it's a big thing in the comics.
Anybody else get to watch the leaked footage?
Oh, the leaked trailer?
I still haven't. I'm waiting for
it's not going to be available anyway.
He put it off too long, and he missed that thing I sent
watched
out.
about 2 minutes of it, and oh man, I wish I would have watched the rest of it.
Oh, so good. So
Star-Lord jumping across
I watched
platforms.
the whole fucking thing. You got Iron Spider-Man. It's awesome. Anyways, it is going to explore Vision and Scarlet Witch, and that is a really great story. Like, if this movie is not, I don't know if there's an official runtime out yet. If it's not 3 hours long, they're doing it wrong.
It's gonna have
Gone
to be
with the
close
Wind.
to it.
Gone with the Wind. Yeah, 3.5 hours. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah. I'm in.
ready.
I don't care.
Give us an intermission.
In TV, yeah, it has been a very long. It's been a very long time since that was a thing, but I'm down for it with this one.
It would help.
In TV news, showrunner Scott Buck reveals that Marvel's Inhumans is connected to the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and therefore connected to the Marvel MCU.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Have you seen what everyone else has been saying, that this is his worst work?
No, I've not. But they haven't.
Yeah.
They didn't reveal a pilot at Comic-Con, did they? Because I know Krypton did. Someone else did.
There's a pilot out there that has been reviewed.
I did not see that.
Like, everything is coming back saying that this is some of his worst work.
Yeah, you can't base your shit on that, because there are like movies with like 30% Rotten Tomato scores that are fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
you can't.
But
like, I'm not gonna listen.
I'm just saying those are like the first reviews coming out right
See
now.
it for yourself.
Sony Entertainment is actually buying 90% stake in Funimation, but no leadership changes are planned at the moment. So we're still gonna get, like, the shows we know and love. Like, I've been keeping up with Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
In both the American and Japanese version, because the American version is like almost episode 20, and the Japanese version just went over episode 100. So I'm not going to be behind on that shit. But yeah, they do have now 95% stake in Funimation, but again, they're going to leave it as it is. Everything's going to be fine. Anime fans, don't worry. But it is Sony, so that could change.
Yeah.
June Foray passed away at 99 recently, and if you guys aren't familiar with her, I did put down a little bit of a thing. She had a career of almost 80 years in acting and voice acting from 1932 to 2014.
Damn.
Yeah. She started in radio and broke into film in 1943 and would go on to play Lucifer the Cat in Cinderella, Granny from Sylvester's and Tweety cartoons, Aunt May on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, Granny Gummy in The Adventures of Gummy Bears, Ma Beagle, Magician Dispel, and Miss Featherby in DuckTales. Most prominently, she's probably most famous for Cindy Lou Who in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and Rocket J. Squirrel, and Natasha Patel in The Rocky and Bullwinkle Show.
That's good.
Yeah,
Nice.
she had a hell of a career.
Gotta love voice actors, man. Some
And
of the best people.
all that was just her voice work. She had
Yeah.
on-screen work and everything. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She revisited the Granny from Sylvester and Tweety cartoons like throughout the decades.
That's good.
So
man. I can kind of tell because like recollecting the voice. Of
I don't know
heard.
if she was in Space Jam, but I would like to.
Oh
look into
right.
that.
Yeah,
Because Granny was in there for like a couple seconds.
She's on the bench.
Moments, yeah.
She's a cheerleader.
She's a cheerleader, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, June Foray passed away. She was almost 100 in September. She would have been 100.
Man.
Damn.
So
Life well lived.
yeah, life. She is a legend. If anything, like you have to give her that.
I'll definitely be looking into that.
In comics news, Scott Snyder says Batman is not a metahuman. This comes out of Suicide Squad number 22, where Amanda Waller declares him one before sending the Suicide Squad after him. He says he is not, nor is he ever really been a metahuman. There are moments where he's gotten the powers of the God of Knowledge, and there are moments where he has had Superman's powers, and there are moments where he had the Green Lantern ring for like a whole 2 fucking seconds.
But Batman started as like regular training, right?
Yeah, and if I'm gonna believe anyone's opinion on Batman, I'm gonna believe Scott Snyder. the best writer of the New 52, the guy who's ushering in Dark Knight's Metal. Like, he's had the most experience with Batman for a long running period, in maybe over 20 years. It's just some random writer, like, because he says he doesn't want to step on the toes of whoever's writing Suicide Squad. Yeah. But I'm not going to trust the fucking Suicide Squad writer over Scott Snyder.
Well, that's just them, like, coming up with theories of
Batman. And it's Amanda Waller, so she's most likely fucking lying. That's the greatest, like, that's her greatest superpower.
It's the character dialogue coming up with theories about why Batman is how he is.
Right. In line with the first Green Lanterns number 27 reveals its 7th Lantern, John All of Krypton, which we were just talking about a little while ago. Now, the important thing about this, the reason I think it's newsworthy, is this is the first ever Kryptonian lantern in, like, the entire history of the Green Lantern Corps, from way back when a number 2 pencil could kill the Green Lantern. Like, back in the Golden Age.
I only know of even two Kryptonians, really, that would have survived.
And that's
myself.
Yeah, that's Kal-El and
the girl
Kara Zor-El.
Yeah.
Again, she's the 7th Lantern. Like, from the beginning of the Green Lanterns. 1, 2, 3.
So predates the explosion of
the
Krypton,
7th Lantern ever. Yeah.
Okay.
And so this is before Krypton explodes. She was a Green Lantern.
Makes sense.
And it's a really interesting story. I was looking into it, and apparently for a few issues now, they've been exploring, like, from the first Green Lantern up, and it's because Simon and Jessica are lost in time. It sounds really cool. Everyone told me to read this from issue 1.
I told you.
He told me to read this.
I was reading this for about a dozen issues.
We reviewed the Rebirth and the number 1 issue of this on this podcast, and I didn't pick it up after
Seems
that.
like you can read a lot of the other DC and get some of that filler.
A little bit, but man, God, do I
you
really
gotta
want
go
to read this?
Straight,
I can't, though.
Yeah, you gotta go straight to the Green Lantern source.
Right. Guys, all of these stories and more can be found on the Sorta My Comics page on Facebook. Just go over there, like the page, put it in your first, like, what is it? Like,
put it in your dream diary.
write about it in your dream journal. And we'll go on to talk about Fandom Fest. Now, this is a topic that's close to 2 of us. Travis has a little bit of insight here because he has been to a con. But Alpha Spectre and my first con, and Bob's first con? Was he there with us?
No.
It was
I've never seen a con, to be exact.
Our first Comic-Con.
There you go.
Our first comics convention.
There you
go. Was Fandom Fest 2014.
And it was great.
It was. It really was.
It's what got me back into everything. It's what me got back into collecting. It's what got me back into collecting.
I had been
to
reading,
even buy one.
I had been reading for almost a year by that point because I had started. I got back. Okay, all right. We've done the Origins on a serious ship. Or no, we did the Origins in an SMP. So I started reading from a real young age, and I picked it back up late 2000s with Spider-Man and a few other books, and I had to quit because of family. It was too expensive. Then I picked it back up in 2014. I picked it back up in 2014 with Harley Quinn number 0. I saw, and it was like seriously collectors. Like themed. I was just in to look. I walked into the comic shop just to look at shit, and I saw Harley Quinn number 0, and I was like, "Is there like a 1, 2, 3 out?" And she's like, "No, that is new this week," and I bought it. And I also saw that they had the Secret Origins issue, like from maybe a week or 2 before, of Harley Quinn on the cover. So I bought that too, and that just started it.
Spiral.
Yeah, it just started it, and now here we are with a fucking comic book podcast.
Right?
But yeah,
like, Fandom Fest, it's what got me back into everything.
Oh my God,
I
it was
still
great.
have pictures.
It was my son's first convention too. He got to meet Norman Reedus. That is sitting right upstairs. The Funko Pop vinyl of Daryl Dixon is signed right upstairs. in his room, and he had a great time. He remembers it, not fully, he was pretty young, but yeah, I mean, it was 3 years ago, so he was like, what, 8 years old?
Yeah.
8 or 9? Because he's going to be 12 this year.
But he remembers meeting Daryl Dixon.
Oh, yeah, he for sure remembers that. Nicest guy ever. It seemed well organized. It was in a convention expo center, and
I was really jealous of that. In fact, I remember you getting to talk to him, didn't you, about a Boondock Saints?
No. We talked.
We talked to Sean Patrick.
Yeah, we talked to Sean Patrick
10,
Flannery.
Yes.
Yeah, because nobody was lined up for him. It was a damn shame. Like
He
nobody,
was the cool brother.
Like, we got to stand there
You know.
and actually talk to him for a good long time because nobody else had any interest in him. And you know, it was the Walking Dead thing and shit, but they were like literally they were just a gap apart. Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick
were right
Flannery.
beside each other.
There for the Boondock Saints?
No. I mean, just there as celebrities, like separate celebrities.
But I mean, I feel like they put them together because of the Boondock Saints.
Right.
But no one. It
Noticed
seemed
the
like
other
no
guy.
one there really made that connection.
And you know what? It's a shame we didn't have the podcast then because we got a hot scoop at that time from Sean Patrick Flannery. He let us know that there was a finalized fucking Boondock Saints 3 script. I think recently, just a couple months ago, the director and the writer like let us know like we're ready to go. Yeah. Like we've got what we want. This is what we've been waiting on.
So a third movie?
There should be a third movie.
Well, there's also the TV show going to happen. Do you guys ever read about that?
I've not heard about that.
There's a Boondock Saints TV show.
Look at the new guy coming in here with a hot scoop.
To be honest, this was months ago, so we may be late on this. But yeah, and they have like it's not going to star either one of them. I don't think they're going to recast. Maybe it's a younger version. Maybe it's an older version. I don't exactly remember. Yeah, it's going to be outside of the cinematic.
I know for sure Norman Reedus could not keep up 2 TV schedules. 1 TV schedule is killer.
That's why I'm thinking they're going to
like The Walking Dead. Yeah, they've had the Boondock Saints ready to go from 2014 as far as we know.
Yeah.
But yeah. It was a good time though.
It was.
We had there was the vendors hall, and oh my god, that's where I got Ben that Harley Quinn figure that he has.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
did you get me that print of Jack Skellington?
Yep, that's where I got you that
as Sweeney Todd. It says
that Sweeney Todd Jack Skellington print. That's where I got that.
A lot of the prints that are hanging
Sweeney
in my
Jack
house
is what it says.
Came from Fandom Fest.
The Harley Twi'lek print I have in there. Yeah,
that is actually the reason I got into prints.
Really?
Yes.
The Harley Twi'lek?
No. You got me the Sweeney Jack print, and to be honest, I realized the potential in being able to reproduce my work and being able to hold on to what I hold close to my heart and keeping the original and selling the rest that people really want to buy.
Yeah.
They really wanted my stuff, and I really didn't want to come off of it.
It really is just a commodity these days.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yes, you have this print on your wall, and I have prints on my wall, but is it really special? Because, like, at least 100, 200, 300 other people have that fucking print up
maybe
on the wall.
30 years from now, I could sell the original that I have, and it may be worth something.
Yeah, maybe you get famous, and then you can be like, I'm going to sell this original fucking 15 grand.
In fact,
right
my
there.
first con was TriCon in Huntington.
What year? It's always in Huntington.
A few years ago.
Yeah, I'd say it was like
2015 or 2016.
15.
15.
Bob
went with
Yeah,
us.
because you definitely would have been with Bob and Odle if it was 16.
There's a lot of pictures of me photo crashing. Like I was photo bombing a lot of pictures of people.
Oh shit! I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like looking really confused up at this stuff. But I was actually there.
Oh, that was the year that we set up.
Yeah, I was there as a featured artist.
Yeah, you were there as a featured artist.
Yeah, as a featured artist for Sorta My Comics, and I was pumping out all the artwork as poster artwork for Sorta My Comics. And I made a couple sales, but the other guy we had at the time made a lot of good sales. No, I mean, I've had good times.
I don't care to
times.
horror him out on the podcast. I don't think he'll be offended. Quentin Gleam.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of great shit.
I still check out his stuff. I have him on Instagram. He's a great dude.
I think my favorite thing of his was the Swampert Venom crossover thing.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
And he also had a really great Big Hero 6.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
Big Hero 6 Snorlax.
It's hanging up in my son's room.
I have that in my son's room as well. See, it's
right?
like,
yeah, hell yeah.
It's like, I feel like there was this one family who bought every print I came out with.
Oh yeah, and I'm
they put
friends
it
with the mom.
Yeah,
on
me
Facebook,
too.
Yeah,
she put every single print I made in her son's room, and it was like the best Christmas gift ever.
He loved your shit for sure.
It really seeing the way people react is what keeps me going. So like you guys going to that Fandom Fest has really like sparked a lot of my setting up tables and putting out my artwork. I went to festivals 3 hours away, not made a single dollar, but I still had a great time doing it.
Well, coming out of that these really great stories that we have a really bad story. This most recent Fandom Fest 2017 was held in an abandoned Macy's. And that sounds bad, but actually, like, holding a convention in a mall, an abandoned area of a mall and stuff, that's not actually... that uncommon. It happens.
I've had some of my best times in abandoned stores. That's a skateboarding story for another time.
Yep, I can agree with that. But yeah, it is a regular thing. However, this venue change happened 2 weeks before the event. They alerted. They put it up on the. They had an expo center. I can't remember exactly which one. They didn't make a note of it. But yeah, they made the announcement 2 weeks before the event. Celebrity cancellations from Weird Al, several Beauty and the Beast cast members, even Burt Ward canceled due to lodging and travel accommodations not being paid for by the convention, as was apparently promised.
I feel like I remember hearing something about even the year that we went, people were waiting to be paid.
Oh, really?
And they never got.
Because that was a problem for the 2013 pod
I feel like I remember seeing something about that happening consistently with them. Is they promise all of this and like they make the promise to pay out of the revenue from the con.
Yeah,
and then they never did.
In the article that I had read about the 2017, they mentioned the 2013, and this was a big problem with them was accommodations.
Yeah.
Apparently, the guy who was Doctor Who at the time was live tweeting it from his hotel room, like waiting for the car to come pick him up. He's like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna start CSI. You know, like while I wait, I'm just gonna go ahead and watch this."
Was this for 2013?
Yeah, and a couple hours later, he was like, "Well, nobody came to get me. I'm sorry to whoever like came out and paid for these packages and stuff." They
Are you sure that wasn't the one we went to?
No, it said 2013.
No, like I mean, are you sure that we didn't go to the 2013 one?
I'm pretty damn sure. All of my folders say 2014 for that podcast or for that convention. I mean, people lost hundreds of dollars on this for autograph and VIP packages involving like special photo ops and shit.
Yeah.
And
because you got to buy a ticket beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Pay ahead of time.
Now the website does say like no refunds, but there's even because of that there's a lawsuit being planned because a lot of reputable cons will give you a refund on those photo ops and autographs.
It costs $100 just to see freaking Gene Simmons for some reason.
Well,
I'd be pissed.
You pay all this money just for this specific one thing, and that's why a lot of cons give refunds for that if there's a cancellation.
I don't want to hate on the celebrity, but also like feel for the fans who bought the ticket.
Yeah, well, no, it's not the celebrity's fault. It's not the fans' fault. It's the con's fault.
Exactly.
They instituted a policy they knew would be a problem, and from a business standpoint, I guess technically is good for them, but not in the long run because people are gonna stop coming to those fucking cons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because they're gonna be like, "Oh, Fandom Fest. If someone cancels, we're just gonna ripped off. So why fucking
gonna have $100 piece of paper right here?"
There are other conventions that these people will be at. Let's just go to one of those. Try it out.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even the fire marshal caused problems for this because they were concerned about the building, the Macy's that they were doing this in. So they would only allow 1,700 of the projected 30,000, which is a number they have easily hit in the past. 30,000 congoers for the day. And
Man.
what they would do is they would essentially this meant they'd let 1,700 in, and the door greeters had fucking
counter.
clicker.
Yeah.
A little counter to tell.
When someone
And
goes
once
out,
they hit 17, nobody else is coming in until someone comes out.
everyone who went on a smoke break lost their spot.
I mean, especially in the early hours of that con, like, you know, those people are going in for at least 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
At the
least.
very fucking least.
I mean, God,
Yeah.
when we went to Lexington, we went there and we stayed inside.
Yeah, we missed Stan Lee because we went into one line for Jason David Frank.
Mhm.
And, and then we were like, God, look at that line for Stan Lee. We were like, let's go back to this booth and like go check this thing out real quick, and then we'll come back to Stan Lee. And we came back and it was gone.
I hate to be the guy to say it, but I probably would have went to Stanley.
Right?
Mainly because I don't have
point,
a big connection to Power Rangers as much as you guys do.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But he's still awesome.
And at one point, I was not 20 feet from Stanley. We could see him through this curtain.
Yeah,
where he was doing the photo op.
special
Mega
photo
nerd
op.
boner.
And no, I was sitting there and I was like, I had my hand like starting to go down to the ground. I was like, should I lift this up and go in? Should I go in? Guys, I was begging them to stop me from going, like, to just jumping this curtain and just going.
Stanley's right over there.
Well, the thing, I think our biggest deterrent at that time was, you know, Stan's prices. Like, even a photo op, I think, is 50 signatures, 100.
And still, Gene Simmons was a fucking $100. I'm pretty sure that's the event I'm thinking of. Gene Simmons over fucking Stanley.
Yeah, so this con had all these fucking problems. Every single one of these problems. It's so fucking sad because, like I said, we had a good time in 2014. But honestly, if this was the time that we had, like if there was like a 1,700 limit and it was taking place in an abandoned mall, we would not have had a good time. Like this would have been a nightmare for us. Like I definitely would have been there to see Weird Al. Like for sure, I would want to see Weird Al.
He's awesome.
And so, like finding out that the convention that I drove like 2 hours out of town for.
Apparently is going to be the con to go to in Kentucky now. Because Fandom Fest was huge.
I mean, if Fandom Fest dropped the ball this bad again with like consistent reports over the years of like celebrity cancellations due to accommodations, like I could see the winds of change going towards Lexington Con, because Lexington Con this year was pretty fucking huge too.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember we actually set up Sorta My Comics at another small convention actually here in town.
Right here in town. It was the JC's
and there was kind of a small celebrity from DBZ Abridged there, wasn't there?
Yep.
The voice of Android 18.
Who enjoy Edible Obscurities, you will eventually see her because she agreed to do the Edible Obscurities intro with me.
I don't recall that.
Yeah, I got her to do it with me. It's going to be on a future episode, and I have her on camera saying it's okay, so...
Yeah. Right.
Doesn't matter that it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I'm still gonna use it. In way better news, way more interesting, way more fun, way more exciting news. YouTube Red has ordered 10 episodes of the Karate Kid show.
But YouTube Red, really?
They're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna keep them down. They're the best around.
That's a different movie though, man.
No, that's Karate Kid.
I thought that was in Rocky.
Oh, you just fucked yourself up so bad. I was just watching it today. It's Karate Kid.
Man.
I know. You're thinking of Eye of the Tiger, you stupid mother.
Yeah, I guess I don't know rock and roll. I don't know even how to sing
shit about music.
Karate Kid though.
Anyways, this is gonna be a half-hour comedy, and it's gonna be titled Cobra Kai. It is starring William Zabka, Johnny Lawrence in the Cobra Kai Dojo, and Ralph Macchio. So, I mean, this is legit. This is taking place 30 years after the original movie, the first movie, and apparently the small synopsis for this, Johnny Lawrence is down on his luck and decides to reopen the Cobra Kai dojo, which reignites his rivalry with a successful Daniel LaRusso, who's struggling to maintain a balance in life without the guidance of Mr. Miyagi. Because as we all know, Pat Moriarty died.
And it's a comedy.
And it's a comedy. Pat Morita, whatever.
So is this like a Seinfeld?
I'm drunk.
Where they're like living. It's like, what's the other guy's name? Not Ralph. The other guy? Cobra Kai?
William Zabka, yeah.
Wayne and Ralph were living like across apartments from each other. And it's like, hey, you go to the dojo much? Karate much?
I beat your ass back in the 80s.
Yeah, you did. Laugh track and all that.
And you see him walking away and Ralph Macchio's all right, but William Zabka's like, motherfucker.
There's a deep story there, but it's also comedic.
I think it's going to be more of a dramedy. If you ask me. Like, I don't think it's going to be in front of a live studio audience. Hey guys, I think I'm going to fucking teach you some karate today.
Yeah.
What's the deal with karate?
No, I will smash this bottle over your head right now.
It's a great idea for a show. What are you guys hoping to see from this? Like, me myself, I hope they don't ignore the sequels. Because there are 3 sequels.
Yeah.
In there. And one of which had
the female. Was it that 2 or 3?
No. The fourth
four.
one. The next
Karate Kid.
So was there a different karate girl in one of them?
No. There was the Karate
one?
Kid, Karate Kid 2, Karate Kid Goes to Japan.
And then Karate Girl.
Then number 3, where they come back to the States and the leader of the Cobra Kai dojo hatches this plan with an old, former alumni of his dojo to, take down Daniel LaRusso. It's terrible. It's
my mind is fucking blown.
You maybe have never seen the 3rd one.
I've seen the girl.
That's the 4th one.
It used to play on Disney all the time.
that's
yeah. But yeah,
but yeah, maybe they'll acknowledge some of that.
That'd
hopefully.
be cool.
If she was in the show, at some point, that would be really great seeing them, because she was his last student.
Oh,
she was Mr.
So him and
Miyagi's
Ralph
last student,
maybe might not even know each other.
Oh, maybe
they meet.
Oh, maybe she
brings
starts
her
working.
Kid.
Maybe she starts working for the Cobra Kai dojo. Oh shit! Huge rivalry.
Put him in a body bag.
Take a right. Check it out. Any other ideas you guys got for this show?
I feel like it should be less comedy.
Yeah, it shouldn't be there's tons of comedy in the original film. There's plenty of it in the second. Not really.
It's not a comedy movie.
If there's comedy in the 3rd and 4th, it's lost on me or it's really bad. One of the 2.
It's small. It's probably more of Ralph Macchio's parts. But Mr. Miyagi hits him back with some funny stuff.
There's a part of are you on some he's hiding the fucking black eye and his sunglasses.
Yeah.
Are you on something? Yeah, Mom, I'm Minute. I gotta get to school.
Well, Ralph Macchio, he has a lot of comedy under his belt. I think through the movies he was in afterwards.
There's very few movies he was in afterwards.
Yeah. I've seen a couple.
Yeah, he's got a few. Yeah.
Cousin Vinny.
My Cousin Vinny, that was a comedy. So, scale back the comedy just a little bit. Find that perfect balance that you had with the first movie.
Yeah.
Because, holy fuck, I love that movie. I was watching it just today. I even, while I was writing the show, I was watching that movie and it went off and I was like, well, I still got more show to go. I got to write out more. So I put it back on with the audio commentary. And, these guys, they had Pat Moriarty. Morita. Fuck. What?
Moriarty is Sherlock's nemesis.
Yeah.
That's what
I've actually seen that now.
That's what I'm getting at.
And it's great.
And Ralph Macchio and the director of the film, they're the ones doing the comedy, and they're having a fucking great time. Dude, they're laughing so much and making jokes throughout the entire thing. It's the essence of what commoner's commentary is. That's what I thought about.
I'm a big Martin Freeman fan.
Guys, it's about time to wrap it up. Unfortunately, you won't be seeing a new Alphas unboxing Cause
Why?
Well, first of all, my box was late coming in.
So that's no fucking
that
excuse.
box.
But then every night I'm like, okay, well, I can open it tonight. Well, shit, I never made an announcement, so no one's gonna know to tune in. Well, I'll make an announcement tomorrow.
Anyone who likes the page is gonna get a notification.
Yeah, but it just kept being one of those. There was never a good time. Like every evening, something kept popping up when I got home from work, and I never found a good time to open it. And then one of my coworkers went and told me everything that was in it because he was wearing the shirt underneath of his work clothes.
Check this out.
And he told me that, okay, so it's been out for a while. So it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt. There were 2 can koozies in it that were Slurm from Futurama.
Oh,
there
nice.
was a Rick and Morty statue, and it was Rick flipping you off.
Oh, right, like the aliens, introducing the aliens.
Then there was recipe cards from Bob's Burgers to be able to make a bunch of the burgers from the show, which
wouldn't be very good, right?
I don't know. Some of them actually sound pretty good.
On the show, it sounds like they'd be nasty.
Looking at the recipes, it actually
the recipes were
sounds
good.
pretty good.
Hell
so
yeah.
I'm gonna try some of them. Some of them might make their way to you for edible obscurities.
Oh, I hope so. Like,
But,
I mean, we're still a little ways out, but I mean, I'm serious. I got like a Marvel Studios-esque type phase plan.
Ooh.
Like the phases were this podcast. We got this podcast off the ground.
First mention.
We developed it into 3 podcasts, and now we're hitting the YouTube again. I'm revealing the sparing vlog here. I'm bringing the podcast to it pretty regularly. We're gonna get caught up really soon.
Let us know.
And
we'll film it with you, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, I want to do one with the original Sort of My Podcast crew, and I want to do one with the new Sort of My Podcast.
Well,
yeah, get Boba Fett up in here.
Yeah,
and then
Boba Fett.
I go to
Don't
Bake
be
the Burgers.
disrespectful to the chair you fill.
Right, a Bob and a Bo.
Every recipe makes 4 burgers. So throw Bob in here, the 4 of us.
Oh yeah, that'd be
it would be a group episode, cooking with edible obscurities.
Phase 3 is the return.
Phase 3.
Phase 3 is the return. Phase 1 podcast. Phase 2 update the YouTube page with everything I've done prior. Phase 3 bring back original content, which is edible obscurities.
And the
Sort of my review is still not
But,
an idea, and eventually the jackassery shit might come over. But like the best shit is the sketch comedy.
Phase
shit
4.
That we did. Phase 4 sketch comedy.
Yeah, we'll get back to it.
I promise I'm going to get back on track with my unboxings. I'll have 2 coming in this month.
I meant to say that there was a guy following the page, Sort of My Comics, and he tells me every day I'm seeing like 3 or 4 unboxing videos from this guy. I was like, there's no fucking way in my head. I was like, how is he getting this many boxes? There's only like 2 companies.
Maybe you just forgot that you got that notification the day before, and then you just keep seeing it.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to memento yourself.
I know
with
there's
some
no way you're
tattoos.
doing that many at a time. So keep up the pace. Keep
Absolutely.
doing it.
It's like this last month was 1.
Even if it
because
is
he
bugging
did both
him.
of them in the same episode, which was cool.
I watched one of them myself. Eventually, it was probably a couple weeks ago now, but I liked it, man.
Those are definitely coming to the YouTube eventually. Like I'm kind of doing it linear with the podcast, like the stuff we've done in succession with how we mention it in the podcast. Like once it gets released on the podcast gets released on the YouTube, then I'll release the Alphas unboxing. We've got a new episode of Serious Shit up, and it actually got serious. Like Chad Bennington, that's out there. And even though I already had an episode of Serious Shit planned to come out next week, we're going to put up an extra episode of Serious Shit because there's a new thing called Sorta.
Yep.
However you want to say it, that we just go off on, and it's too fresh to pass up. Unfortunately, I've decided not to bring Suge Knights Live to YouTube. It's been just an editing nightmare.
How do you go about doing our video with the game video?
Well, the old, like, that's the easy part.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
the easy part. The rest of it is just a fucking mess. It's a goddamn nightmare. So from now on, when we record Suge Nights Live, we're going to be recording the live video, which will, go straight up. And then we're going to separately be recording just a standard video so I have something to edit.
Yeah.
So, So Suge Nights Live will come to the YouTube, but it won't be the old episodes. You're going to have to go to the Facebook page, Sort of My Brand or Sort of My Comics, to check those out. Anyways, guys, again, comment on this video. Any opinions you had about the shit that we talked about. Any opinions you have about the opinions we had. And let us know what you think. Subscribe, like, comment, all that shit. It's at the beginning of the show. If you made it this far, you've heard it. My name is Vincent Herman, Vin the Human. Sitting to my left,
James Odle, Alpha Spectre.
right across from him,
Travis Neil Herman, Dr. T. Neil.
Thank you very much for listening from all of us, guys. And cue that badass outro music.
Wouldn't it be